Well, good afternoon, and welcome to this week's edition of Drive Facebook Live. I'm your host, Bob Spitz, with my partner, Tony Whistler. And this week's special guest is Travis Sallee from Loren's Auto up in Montana, along with his coach and my old friend, Karla. Welcome, guys.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hey guys.
So what we're going to be doing in today's show, which is a little special, is Loren is going to be walking us through his shop, which he has just recently finished a very large renovation of, and I've seen a lot of pictures of it, and it's lights out. But Karla, you were there, so you can tell us more about it as Travis walks us through the shop. So without further ado, we only have a half an hour. Let's get this show on the road.
All right. Was there anything you guys want to talk about before I start walking around?
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, Travis, yeah, thank you. You know, I'm getting old and I forget things. Where in Montana is your shop?
So we're in Kalispell, Montana. I think we're
And
about
where is
70
that?
miles to the Canadian border
Okay,
and a couple hours to the Idaho Panhandle. So northwest corner.
right. And you started this expansion of your new shop a number of years ago. You started planning it, didn't you?
Yeah. We started running out of room in 2018, and I bought a lot next door to us. It had been for sale for like 10 years. But when I first came back to help, money was tight. And so I never pursued that lot. And then we finally got to the point where it made sense to buy that lot. And I'm glad I did, because right after we bought it, the neighbors came knocking on my door asking if they could buy it. So,
Yeah, good timing.
but had we not had that lot, we wouldn't have been able to do any of the stuff we've just kind of wrapped up.
Right. And what was the size of the shop prior to the renovation, and what is it now?
So it was 10 bays. We're 11,000 something square feet, and we've added 6 more bays. So we're 16 bays. We're just at 16,000 square feet. One of the bays is a wash bay, one is an alignment rack, but there's 14 true production bays.
Yeah, and as we were saying, you're bigger than I've worked at 4 different dealerships. You're bigger than all 4 dealerships I've worked in.
Okay, yeah.
So that's an impressive size shop. That's, of course, with that kind of expansion, and you'll show how you expanded on both sides. The shop really is both sides of the office, that you've had to rethink some of your procedures as far as how work flows through the shop and how the service advisors work with that expansion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, thanks. So let's
Okay.
get started.
Well, let's see if I can do this here. I'm going to flip my camera around. All right. So
You're the Stanley Kubrick of shop owners. I can feel it.
so this room is kind of my new office. Let's see if you see the bump out in the wall, right there. That's where the building used to end. So this whole end of the building went out 9 feet because there's an external stairwell. But my office downstairs, it's in the center of the shop, and I don't have any daylight. But up here, I've got a big picture window. I can see up to the ski resort. I can see down into the shop, or see out into the parking lot, I mean. So, and then my employees have told me that the place runs better when I'm in the building. And so part of what we did was I had some cabinets and a sink up here, but no stove or dishwasher or any of that stuff. So we kind of built out a kitchen, trying to bring some of the comforts of home. That's another office I've kind of got reserved for future stuff. Bring it
Let
over
me see
here.
the couch. The couch is new.
Oh no, it's not. It's old.
Oh, that's the one they cut into your office, right?
Yeah, I just
Right.
put it there. It's not staying there long term, but this is our training room. So we did build this out a little bit, with the sense that we put the whiteboard, and we put 3 different TVs, a basic sound system, and I can fit, I don't know, I could probably squeeze in up to 60 people, but I don't know how comfortable we'd get with that many. So
We
those
had a
cameras over-
meeting there.
yeah,
This is
we
where
just
we
got done
had
having
our-
the top 20. Still have the same tablecloths, same basic setup. And then I'll just show you briefly, like big storage closet for stuff that supports this room, like tables and chairs and stuff like that. So if I go too fast, tell me. Otherwise,
It's looking good.
okay. Yeah, this those windows look out at the front of the shop. So this is above the office where I'm showing you there.
Travis, do you bring
Yeah.
trainers in? Because boy, you have such an opportunity with such a great training room to bring trainers
So
in.
I've talked to both Napa and CarQuest about hosting the trainings here. Both have expressed interest. So if I could do that, you know, we'd be bringing technicians from all over the valley in, and I'd be able to, you know, just kind of low key do a little bit of recruiting.
Oh,
Show them that
absolutely.
chart. Travis, show them that chart on the wall. I think that's really.
So throughout the shop, these are our core values. I got them in 3 different places, and then on the back side we have a workflow poster. We have in a couple of different spots. So this is the parts room that looks into the existing shop. I'm going to go this next direction. I can hear them running the exhaust fan, so it's maybe a little loud, but here. Is it too loud in here?
No,
No, it's fine.
Okay. So we have 6 bays in here. Part of what we did was we put 19-foot ceilings on this side, and then 16-foot ceilings on the other 4 bays. And so we have a little bit more height. So my first 2 guys that I moved over here are a European tech's like 6'3", and then Gabe that's right there, he's 6'1" or so. So it's more of a work comfort. You can see Ryan works on Sprinter vans. So if you get a 4-wheel drive Sprinter van with a roof rack, it's a pretty tall vehicle. And I would watch these guys just bent over in weird positions trying to work on vehicles. So we hardly ever run the exhaust fan in here, but they're painting some wheels, and so it's a little noisier than normal.
can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No,
Nope.
just your
That's
voice.
good.
I can
So
hear him.
Okay, so it's sunny. The pavers just finished, not this section, but our side lot and stuff. They just finished, but they made a mess of this existing parking lot. So they still have to come back and do a little bit of cleanup, but I'll just walk out here so you can see
Where's those windows that go into your room in your
Upstairs?
study room? Yeah, right
the
there.
one's right above the office door there. So
Okay.
So this whole section right here is all what's new. So that first grade walk-in door on the left, that's where the building ended. It's an external stairwell that used to kind of hang off the end of the building. And that's why we bumped out 9 feet, because that's what that stairwell is. And there's only one section where we didn't give, where we didn't bump it out, but it's bumped out upstairs. So pavers just paved this. We have some signage on the end of the building. We have scissor lifts. So trying to get around there if we have to change a light bulb or address something, it's a little safer. And then we can squeeze an extra parking spot over here. And then this, like we put gates both on the front and the back. So when it snows, we can open those gates up, pin them back on the fence, and then we bring all the snow to the center, and then we'll run it right through that gate and push it over our hill. So that's just a hill. There's a gym right next to us. So, but yeah,
Look at
the
those
building used to be.
views.
Yeah, see some of the mountains. We did lose some of our views because we used to have windows on the side of the shop, and we used to be able to drive all the way around the building. So we lost that ability, but I think it was a decent trade-off. So
Your lot can hold how many cars?
97 parking spots.
97. Wow.
And how many bays do you have again?
16. So yeah, so up here at the top of the shop, it used to be like a green rim, and we had a tan color scheme. And this is what the architects came up with for kind of a black and white, and then they wanted to offset the color of the front office. So I'll take you in through the front door so you can see the office. We did a little bit of light updating on our front office for the customers. So this is part of what we did. We put the wood slats there on the front counter, so it's still the existing counter. And then this furniture wasn't here when the top 20 was here a month ago. We were still waiting for it to arrive, but we got some fresh
Nice.
furniture.
Nice.
And then this is something we're pretty proud of. So we have kind of an awards wall right when you walk in. So it's the best of the Flathead, which is our county. So then I've got ASEs, some other awards, some policy things for customers to be aware of.
I like the
But
little
we did,
welcome. I like the welcome there. It's nice.
yeah. But we changed the logo, and we installed new flooring, so that's all new. And then the countertop is new. The gray border here on the bottom of the wall is new. I've got some regional artwork. So all the artwork behind the counter is all stuff from our region. So from Glacier, or these are my two counter guys, Mark and Chad. You guys can say hi.
Mark and Chad, hey.
Yeah.
Hey there.
So here I'll show you my downstairs office, which I haven't spent a ton of time in. People like to see my big monitor. This room has actually honestly become kind of like a special projects room. So it's a little messy, but those are all things that are going to be happening here within the next week or two. But I have my org board on 2 or 3 spots.
Was that org chart in your other office too?
Yep.
I thought I noticed it. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and then I got the workflow. This one, it just needs to be hung up. I haven't got to it yet. But I'll take you out into the main shop here. So new coffee cart picked out by the interior designer. There are core values here again. Then we do have some of our goals. It's meant to look like etching on the glass, but it's basically like a adhesive sticker kind of a thing that the sign guy did. But on a lot of the windows up here, we have goals for this one's our goal as a service provider, but the one that the customers can see the most is our goal for the community or for the shop, I guess. So, and then,
Great.
Yeah. All right, let's go out here. All right, so this is the existing shop. We used to have black concrete on the floor, kind of sucked the light up. It was probably about 4 years ago that we epoxied the floor. And so we re-epoxied just because we were doing all the construction stuff. So it's 6 weeks old or so. This is one of our in-ground lifts. It had to get pulled out of the ground on Monday. We'd replaced the cylinders in it 10 months ago, and it already failed. So we're not the only industry that has part failures. So some of the bays. One of the upgrades we did was we added garage door openers on every door except for the wash bay. And then because we had more space, we built our own workbenches, so they're super heavy duty. So but yeah, that's kind of what the in-ground lift looks like. That's Nate. We helped him relocate 5.5 years ago from Illinois. And then this guy here, Stan, he's one of 2 apprentices that we've started in the last 4 months since we had the extra space. So.
And mention the fact that it's air conditioned.
Oh yeah. So we have air conditioning on both sides of the shop. When I had the top 20 here 10 years ago, the number one recommendation was to get garage door openers, and the guys resisted me on it. But the architects designed the other side to have air conditioning and garage door openers. And I just knew that with part of the building had it and the other didn't, I'd have a problem on my hands. So we went ahead and put that in. There's our alignment bay. That's our tallest bay in the building. It's 22 feet tall. And then it's our only drive-on lift. And that used to be where this bay was with 14-foot ceilings. When we had some of the bigger stuff, it wasn't quite tall enough at times. So now with the drive-on, we can lift some stuff pretty high and get it out of there. That's little John. He's one of my other apprentices. And then this wall right here is on the backside of our alignment, or on the backside of our wash bay, but it used to not be here, but we mounted it so that we could move the alignment head over, and then there's our alignment computer. We're actually in the process of doing some wiring. One of the cool things is with this alignment rack, when the guys are underneath the vehicle, they can't see the monitor. And so we're going to be mounting a monitor over on the wall so they don't have to contort their bodies to see what the alignment specs are. This is our wash bay. We haven't been using it as a wash bay for a few years now because engine cores, transmissions, that kind of stuff, we end up having so much of it that it was more like shipping and receiving. And then we bought a forklift and some scissor lifts and stuff for during construction, but we'll be getting back to washing cars here soon.
I had a quick question. So you
Yeah.
were talking about AC. The thing that I was interested in, because I'm originally from California, what's it like for the heat? Like, I know it must get very, very cold there. What do you have for the heat?
So we have we burn waste oil, and so I put a 2,000 gallon oil tank in, and we had a few other tanks. So we probably have capacity for 3,000 gallons of waste oil, and then we have 2 burners that are cascaded. And so the one boiler wasn't big enough to run both sides of the shop for the radiant floor, so we had to upgrade it. So now we've got plenty, but there's also backup heat. So we have forced overhead gas, and then we have with the mini splits for the air conditioning, those also can put heat out too. So we actually have 3 different types of heat sources in the existing shop.
Cool.
So this is what literally just got done on Tuesday, is this part of the asphalt. Because they were running big heavy trucks through here, they kind of had to do it strategically. If they would have paved this and then driven those heavy trucks over it, it would have damaged it. So that was one of the last things that got paved. But where you can see the line between the fresh concrete and the more dirty stuff, that's all that side lot that I bought. So everything we're looking at right here is all that side lot. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have been able to expand, because we couldn't have eaten up 20 parking spots for the expansion. So, and then we did repave the driveway. It was starting to get broken up, and then we have a gate. So at night, that gate gets shut, and then this gate's an automatic gate. So everything behind the shop is secured. We have lots of cameras. We'll get some more cameras put over here once the electricians kind of finish things up. But so this is all kind of the paver. That's all their stuff that they got to come deal with. So. And this is the back side of the shop. So normally we call this the bullpen. Normally there's a big scrap iron container in there. We had that taken out of here before the pavers came to do their thing, because the company comes and picks it up and they wouldn't be able to come get it. We stored a few things in there. Our garbage can used to be over there. Now we store it over here, got a little closer to the building. So but we got a garbage can on wheels, so we actually roll that around, make it a little easier. So oops. All right, so this is like the boiler room. This is some of our bulk oil. You hear the compressors running, but this is our waste oil boiler. So I'm gonna get it. So we had to replumb things, so it looks like a mad scientist work area. Each one of these boilers has to have it's a water tank. It's basically a water heater without the elements in it, because it keeps so much water heated at any time. Then if the thermostat's proper heat, it sends the hot water out of the floors. And then we have a screw compressor. So that's that. These three big tanks, we have 2 different weights of oil and overhead guns, and then a synthetic transmission fluids. And then these 3 tanks all have waste oil in them, and they're inside of a room because the oil has to be at a minimum temperature before it goes into the burner. And then this is the big 2,000 gallon tank that I just installed. So and then this is the back side of the expansion. So you can see that gray line up there, about a third of the way over from the right. That's where the building ended. So everything there is new shop. So, and then everything behind the shop, it has these black slats in it for more for privacy, so people can't see what we got going on. I didn't put slats in the front ones because we actually got more view on the highway, and I didn't want the black slats to get rid of that. So and then I'll take you in here and explain a couple things. So this is the only section where we didn't give the 9 feet to the shop. And that's because the architects, they made me put a hallway in, and what I wanted to do was pull this wall out and expand the parts room. But because I was forced to put that hallway in, we just left the existing wall for the shop where it was, and we tried to give this space to the shop. But we did put 1 bathroom in, and the guys had asked for a shower long ago, so oops. We did put a shower in. It's been yet to be used, but now if the guys spill something or spray something all over themselves, they also have extra uniforms they could change into, but now they could shower if they had to go somewhere after work. And then all those things on the walls, those are acoustic panels. I tried to make it look nice and pretty in here, and we drywalled the ceilings, which we don't have on the other side, and not realizing what kind of a noise problem that was going to create over here. And so once we kind of sealed it up and we had people working over here, we realized kind of how noisy it was. And so we started building these acoustic panels. And so we built 24 of them, and we have 24 more, but they're going to go pretty much in this bay, kind of up on this upper right hand, the higher ceiling, and then on the ceiling part of this bay, just so tall, it's kind of like a cavern.
So talking about bathrooms, how many bathrooms do you have in the shop?
We have 2 in the front office. We have 1 on either side of the shop, and then we have 1 on either side upstairs. So this is new.
6 bathrooms, if you were counting right.
Yeah. So this is part of that 9-foot bump out. And we didn't give this space to the shop, but right now this is where we're having parts drivers put the parts in. So they now come in a front door. They used to drive around back when they could drive around the building, but they'll bring the parts in here, set the part down, and then take the paperwork up to the front. We got two CSRs, neither of them are here right at the moment, but they help process that paperwork. But probably this winter we'll do some permanent built-ins. I didn't want to be in too big of a hurry to do that because we didn't know exactly how the space would get used. But then over here, this is like our parts returns. So you can see, got Napa and O'Reilly's, and then they have their parts books that they fill out and then leave the ticket with us, and then they send over the credit. So this is all stuff that's going back. So, Karla, was there anything else I didn't show you guys or that I needed to take another spin through?
Well, with all this space, Travis, where do you hold your team meetings?
In the room.
I guess I didn't show you the parts room. We don't hold them in the
perfect.
parts room. I'll show you. I'm walking to where we do our team meetings. So this is my hallway to nowhere, and I was forced to put that because the stairs coming down used to exit right outside the building.
Mhm.
Well, the code says you can't exit a second story into another part of the building, even though the shop has more doors than walls. Because of that, I had to put this little wall in. Oh, and this is my bookkeeper's office. She's not here right at the moment, but that's where she sits. This is our parts room. Friend Dennis down in Colorado, when we went there for the top 20, he had this like tool corral kind of a thing. He made his out of metal. We ended up making ours out of studs and drywall because the contractor was here and they could do it for me. But we're trying to, so this is all equipment that might have to go to either side of the shop, one or the other. And then same for this. This is that black cabinet. That's where we keep the scan tools. So they're all plugged in and ready to roll.
Is that where you have the meetings?
No, I'm getting there. This is one of my technicians' parts rack. So every technician has their own parts rack. And so we're always trying to order parts in advance of when we need them. But this is our parts room. It's a lot of specialty fluids, especially on the Euro side. We got to have that. And then this is like our tool corral. So we try to label all the things because a lot of the stuff's in a black hard plastic box and they all look the same. So try to label that stuff. And then, we have O-rings and batteries and pins and whatnot. We have
Whoever labeled that stuff has nice handwriting, so very nice.
Yeah. Then we have, nuts and bolts and that kind of stuff. So I don't even think I spent too much time here during the top 20, but this is the parts room. And the idea was to avoid technicians having to go up front to get from one side to the other. The technicians can go between the two shops through the parts room. They never have to go up front and see the customer and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, this area right here is where we do our Wednesday shop meeting. And usually we put the food on that table there. So I also feed my crew, and I try to talk while they're eating. And then that whiteboard, the stuff towards the bottom, that's all stuff that employees can write that we can cover it in the shop meeting. The stuff on top is the stuff for the shop helper, so we don't have a dozen people telling the shop helper what to do. We write it there, and then they just know to check that. And if it's in black, it get to it whenever. If it's in red, it's more urgent. So yeah, this is one of the bathrooms here. This is one of our workbenches we haven't put into use yet. And then this is our wash bay for sinks, and then we have safety shower, that kind of stuff. Snow shovel because we're in Montana. So
It seems like you have put so much thought into caring for your employees, like the fact that the ceilings are high and they don't have to bend over, and so much about making their job so much more enjoyable.
yeah,
And that shows through when we were doing the meeting. It shows through that Travis really thought through how it's going to work, what's going to be convenient. And one of the things that he's very aware of is the pain points for employees, and it's brilliant. You can talk about a little bit about that, Travis.
Well, one of the big things I'm gonna maybe go upstairs unless there's something more specific you want to see. Just
That's
because it's kind of
Cover
noisy.
pretty much everything.
really fantastic. But while he's going upstairs, we're hard up against the hour, Tony. Let's do our station break.
You got it, my friend. So next week, that will be November 1st. We're going to have Ryan Bethel from RDI Power in Brooksville, Florida on the show. So I can't wait to talk to him. And that's the only announcement I have this week.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. So as far as the pain points, yeah, so that's something I'm like really big on. Everybody knows that we have a shortage of qualified technicians in this valley. Here, let me flip my camera back around. Shortage of technicians in the industry, and so when you get good ones, you want to hold on to them. So the pain points, that's just what I call it, the things that every job has things you don't want to do, or the less glamorous parts, the sucky parts of the job. Every job has them. And my big thing is we only want to be doing the things that are necessary and that matter. And so if we can get rid of a pain point, that's ideal. But if we can't, how do we minimize it or make it as efficient as possible, or try to take the I don't know, the less undesirable features away of that part.
The drudgery out of it.
Yeah, because if you put too many of those together, that's when people get frustrated, and that's when they start looking online for jobs and whatnot. So it's like I feel like my crew knows they can count on me to always be trying to address that stuff. That's part of what that whiteboard is.
Well
so
done.
if they write something on that whiteboard, typically it's going to stay on my agenda until we come to a resolution or an agreement on how we're going to handle stuff. So occasionally, there's stuff on my agenda that got put on there a while ago, but like there's something that's preventing us from moving forward with it. So it's kind of been a holding pattern.
Well, I got to tell you, Travis, it's so impressive, and a half an hour doesn't do it justice. And for all those of you who are watching, if you're ever up in Montana, stop by, say hi to Travis, and see for yourself. This is really, we always talk about model shops and ideal scenes, and I think we've got one right here.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No question.
Well, Travis, I want to thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we wish you nothing but continued success.
Thank you.
And Karla, thanks for being with us today. And from all of us at Drive Facebook Live, we hope you have a great afternoon and a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.